You're listening to the finale of the Cloud 5 podcast. I'm Jack Mackay, but you'll know me as the guy with the rotten lunchbox. That requires some context. Watch episode 7. Today on the show, we take a retrospective on Cloud 5 so far, changing up the formula of our beloved trivia games and discovering facts inspired by previous episodes. Can goldfish drive cars? What is extreme ironing? And why in the name of all that is holy would you put a human toe in a shot of whiskey? You can catch our previous episodes on Spotify, YouTube, and your other favourite audio streaming services. We thank you for embarking on this journey of knowledge with us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cloud 5 podcast, the podcast where 5 British idiots delve into the latest and strangest in news and pop culture. Before we dive in, some introductions to the cast of reverent imbeciles who'll be guiding you through this week in weird news. First up, I'm Jack. We've got Brandon.
Hello.
We've got George.
Hello.
We've got Joe.
Hello.
And we've got Luke.
Hello.
Here it is, guys. The final episode of Cloud 5. We are on our 10th and final episode, at least for the foreseeable future. There's a lot of stuff in store for today. We're going to be harkening back to some older episodes, changing the formula around. I know headliners and factoids have both been fiddled with. I could have put that better, but...
They've been meddled with.
Yeah, they've been meddled. It's gonna be a good episode, a nice little send off. And to any of you who are listening to this episode, whether you be just tuning in for the first time or if you've stuck with us for 10 episodes, you crazy weirdos. Thank you for being here. This is so cool that you're here.
It's
and,
great.
There are people that actually want to listen to our shit. So, without further ado, let's jump in to Cloud 5. First up, it's Headliners, the weekly segment where you lot fill in the gaps of the zaniest headlines I could find in the depths of the internet. This week, in honour of our 10th and final episode, I've inverted the headliner formula. This week, I'll be giving you only a select few key words, and you have to devise the headline that they fit into.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun.
Our first headliner, your key words/phrases are chicken farmer and Italian tank.
Chicken farmer.
Chicken farmer and Italian tank fight to the death over chicken dispute.
Ooh, that's a decent one.
What would be the context for that? What dispute do you think could arise between a chicken farmer and an Italian tank?
The Italian tank needs chicken, and the chicken farmer needs chickens,
right,
as well. So therefore, there is a conflict.
What I like about this is that the Italian bit is only on the tank, as if the chicken farmer is not Italian, and it's some sort of like hostile.
Maybe they're just both from a different country, and the tank just happens to be made in Italy.
Chicken farmer found dead after chickens revolt in Italian tank.
Their weapon of choice would be
the Italian tank.
Yeah, giant tank.
Those pesky birds.
Oh, what about
Oh,
an Italian tank chicken farmer becomes the Messiah?
An Italian
nice.
tank chicken farmer.
Becomes the Messiah.
What do you mean? An Italian tank chicken farmer? As in he is the tank, or he's within the tank?
He is the tank.
Or he is
but
a
he's
tank.
Also
He's
a chicken farmer.
he's a
Wait,
tank.
he's like a transformer.
I know the answer.
Joe knows the answer. What is it?
That's so weird. How would you say it like that? I know the answer.
Like it's like we're all in like a boardroom, and then he's like in the shadows and emerges. I know the answer. He's been listening for the whole time.
It's like in them scenes where there's like a scratch in like the corner of the room, and it's like
we all
the
go
old
silent
wise
and
man.
turn around, and he comes into the light,
In like a wheelchair, wheels in, like really like withered
stroking
away,
a cat.
like, I know the answer.
Don't like cats.
Oh, you're right. Joe hates all living
Yeah,
things.
right, okay.
Fucking
Don't mention
prick.
animals.
Sorry, yeah, my bad.
You know, that's on you.
Joe, we're waiting for your answer.
Oh, you want to know?
Of course. if you come out of the shadows going, I know the answer, children, and then we're not just going to look at you and go, all right, anyway, so...
It's like, I know the answer, and then he like dies.
Guys,
Or like
just like
the
don't
frog
believe
in
me.
Shrek.
You should just
Yeah.
know that I'm right.
Okay, Joe, I'll
Yeah,
take your
Joe,
word
go
for
on
it. He's not going to give it. He's not going to give us the answer. He's just saying that
I
he
only know
knows it.
it's
So when I inevitably tell you, he will have known it and he wins. The answer is chicken farmer cries foul as Italian tank blows up coop.
Got it.
Wow.
Easy.
Yeah.
Give me
Is this
another
like
one.
military
Too easy.
training, or is it just like...
Child's play. No, it's an
Yeah, what's
it's an
too easy,
Italian
actually?
army tank taking part in a military exercise in northern Italy.
Was anyone
and-
in there? Was anyone in the tank?
No, it's the self-driving tank.
It wasn't just driving around. It's finally broken free of its shackles. No, it was there was a person in it, and it mistakenly blew up a chicken coop late on Wednesday, killing a large number of birds. Local police said.
That's
The farm
sad.
owners discovered the damage on Thursday morning when they saw that their chicken shed had partially collapsed
It's a
and
lot of
many
chicken
birds had
nuggets.
perished.
Oh, perished bird.
Joe,
Do you think they're able to salvage the meat?
if you could have like a pet, or like you had to have an animal, what animal would it be?
I wouldn't go die.
That's not
No,
an
no,
option. You
No,
have
you
to
just
have
pick
to. You
choose
one.
have
an
to
animal.
have
Why?
one.
I already have the answer.
What is it?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Oh.
Yes, I would. I'm asking.
Yeah, I thought you would. I've had that one before.
Always knows that.
Joe, you'd be a great politician by the way that you just deflect questions.
I'd have to say if I had to have a pet, it had to be an animal. Is it any type of animal?
Any animal, yeah.
Human, man.
You know, I can't argue with that. I
Joe,
can't
that's
argue
called a
with that.
slave. Do you really want to admit to that on a public
That's what you
podcast?
implied.
Do you want to admit to that?
But it's an animal.
Your words,
Ah,
Jack.
you
Your
forced me
words.
into it. You told me.
Not really.
I have to
If
choose.
someone was like, "Oh, you could own any animal," and you go, "A human, please."
I
Own.
don't see, yeah.
Right. Well, this accident happened on the outskirts of Vivaro. This is the chicken coop, not Joe. It's a small town
Oh,
close
you
to an
called me an
army shooting range. The army did not make any immediate comment, which I feel like was probably a bad move on their part. If my chicken coop got obliterated and all my, my
I'd be a
livelihood.
bit sad.
Yeah, so local media reported that the magistrates in the nearby city of Pordenone have opened an investigation and impounded the tanks involved in the exercise.
The tank has been chained up again after
Yeah.
stinking.
Yeah, it's been taken back and reprogrammed.
I bet the chicken farmer didn't tank them. Get it? So thank them. 'Cause the chicken coop-
I like that.
When you
Chicken-
explain
Chicken
it.
nuggets, nice.
I feel like you could have done that maybe slightly better.
I feel like
feel
you
like
have
there were
no
other
right
things
to
you could have said.
question me.
You could have said something along the lines of "No need to tank me" or something like that. You know, like an
Alright,
actual
yeah.
recognizable
Don't need
phrase.
to tank me.
Oh, there you are. Or cut out me saying it, and then it makes it seem like you're the alpha male.
The alpha male.
Next headliner.
Next.
Your keywords are man and corn oil.
Man drinks 10 litres of corn oil, dies immediately.
Although that would be a headliner we would probably find on this show, but no, it isn't that.
Man sets himself
Yeah.
on fire with corn oil and runs into a local swimming pool.
Well, that would be quite... What I was thinking is, man uses corn oil as lubricant.
Brandon, you are weirdly close.
Am I actually?
You're weirdly close, yeah.
Man uses corn oil to cook a child.
Oh my
You said it was close.
Man soaks penis in corn oil.
Man gets corn oil balls stuck up his rectum.
Right, right. Brandon's second guess was the closest you're probably going to
Was
get.
it?
Man 50 caught committing an indecent act while drenched in corn oil.
What indecent
Oh,
act.
what indecent
what was the
act was
indecent
it?
act?
Well, let me tell you. It says here in the article, the situation was so strange, it took the Sarnia police staff sergeant a moment to figure out what he was staring at. The officer had no idea what was going on. Shortly before 1 a.m. on August 28, 2019, the officer, patrolling the downtown core in a marked cruiser, noticed Kenneth Manes sitting on a white chair in a dark alley behind a theatre. The 48-year-old Sarnia man was completely naked and soaked. Mr. Manes had completely covered himself in Mazola corn oil and was sitting in the alleyway in public, masturbating.
Right.
Oh my god. What was he masturbating to? Was it
I
just
don't know.
Was it a mental one? Was it a mental wank, or did he have like his phone out or something? Or was he just staring dead eyes into the policeman and doing it?
Like, right, or he was able
just
to
like-
connect to the theatre Wi-Fi. And he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's got like a pile of Playboy mags next to
Little
him.
did they know that he didn't start until the police arrived and stared
Yeah.
at him.
100%.
That's when he
It's a
began.
voyeur thing. Yeah. He was arrested, charged, and on March 4th, more than 1.5 years later, pleaded guilty to willfully committing an indecent act in a public place in the presence of a police officer.
I think he's a hero
To be
myself.
fair, it wasn't really his fault that the police officer showed up. You can't really tack that on to the charge. He didn't like. It wasn't like he put a sign up saying, "Police, come investigate this dark alley that I'm in." And then they go in there, and he's like, "Yes, finally!"
oh.
Dated.
It's like a big sign. It's like nothing going on in this alleyway.
Now, I bet you that chair was the police officer's chair, and the corn oil there was the police officer's. And the police officer went down there to do his stuff, and he was there. And the police officer was like, "Oh God, I've been rumbled. I'm gonna have to call this in."
What?
So you're saying that the policeman called it in because he was upset that the man had taken his corner, not the fact that he was covered in corn oil and masturbating in there.
Nah, the chair is the police officer's. The corn oil was the police officer's. The police officer does that thing, but he showed up and the man was already doing it, and because of
The
jealousy
man
and
had
also
taken his supplies.
yeah, because he doesn't want to be like rumbled, he called it in.
And he was like, "It's all his. It's all his."
Yeah, and then it's like fingerprints are all over it.
Yeah.
Well, this guy turned 50 about 2 weeks ago, and he had an explanation for his behaviour. He said that he was, quote-unquote, treating a few friends to some drinks earlier that day, and is pretty sure one of them slipped him a stupid substance in a bid to make him overdose. "I've had that happen to me a few times," said Manes, who added he wouldn't have done that deed otherwise. "It was a bad night and a bad time." The judge said, "It certainly was, Mr. Manes," and then imposed a suspended sentence and probation. He spent a couple days in jail after his arrest, but will avoid another
Free up
stint
my
behind
guy.
bars
Free my
if he
boy.
follows the rules of his 1-year probation order. The Zoom-based court concluded with some friendly advice from the Crown. Stay away from the corn oil, Mr. Manes.
What's the point of Zoom call? You could just run away, isn't it?
Just use olive oil next.
Yeah.
They take him in handcuffs, and little do you know that because he's covered in corn oil, he could just slip out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you think if they like tackled him
He
down,
slipped through the shackles.
He like
If he-
slides along the street on his
Yeah.
belly like a snake.
like if they tackled him down, he
He,
basically
like, goes
gets
into
like
a drain.
catapulted away, and he's sliding like at like 15 miles an hour, and they have to get
Yeah.
back in the car to catch him. But like because he's so
He, like,
frictionless.
slithers into a nearby drain.
He's so frictionless that they can't catch him, and he starts accelerating. And next thing you know, he's in
Yeah,
like Kyrgyzstan.
Nothing slows him down.
They wrap their arms around him to catch him, and he just like flies out the top like a bar of soap. Like,
Yeah. Gets launched.
Chad.
he is Chad. I mean, don't do that. Don't do what Kenneth did. But
Why
to be
not?
fair, it all sounds quite nice actually. The way that not his act, but the way that the procedure, the legal procedure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, the legal procedure sounds fine because they're all like, "Oh, we'll just chat over Zoom about it, and then we'll as long as you follow the rules for a year, you'll be fine. We'll let you go. We know you had a bit of a weird one,
Yeah.
bit of an episode."
That's the best of us. Obviously not that, but
He sat there on
Yeah.
Zoom, and like what they can't see is like behind the laptop is a massive keg of corn oil. He's like, "I'll do it again."
Yep. Well,
he's already planning.
Yeah, he's got
next
like
excursion. Next time it will be behind the laundrette.
he's got a calendar of like the day
No,
his
no.
probation ends circled, and he's like planning like a place in Minnesota to go.
Why Minnesota?
I don't know,
Because-
Brandon. That joke sounds kind of corny.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant.
The
One
fact that
every
you could sign
headliner.
up
That was
Let's go.
ironic.
Yeah.
Third headliner.
You have 3 keywords: Taiwan, salmon, and free sushi.
Taiwan man.
Taiwan
Get-
man.
Get Taiwanese.
Thai man.
Oh, yes.
No, man.
Taiwanese.
No. Man from Taiwan.
Chinese.
Um,
You
Get-
did not just say Chinese.
gets
Taiwan.
attacked by salmon.
Yeah.
In an apology, salmon shoots itself. Free sushi for everyone.
As an apology, it kills itself.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
salmon with a gun with its hands.
No. It uses a trident.
pulled
You know,
the
everyone
trigger
from under the ocean
itself.
has a trident.
No, Brandon, we're not going any further down that diabolical rabbit hole of your mind, okay? It isn't that.
Taiwan man exchanges salmon for free sushi.
No, that's just giving them a fish. They chop it up
No.
and they give it back.
No, it's trade, isn't it?
Man in Taiwan makes sushi with salmon.
That wouldn't be a headliner.
How is that a headline? Yes. Dear God.
Man orders burger.
Man orders burger,
Oh.
receives burger.
Also, can we go back to the thing that you said? Oh, he gives them a salmon and then gets free sushi back. It's not free if you have to give someone something to get it. You know?
But it is though.
No, it isn't.
Oh,
No. It isn't. If I go up to you and I'm like, oh, could you take this?
Stop being unreasonable, Jack.
I'm not being unreasonable. If I said, I'll exchange you this. No, I'll exchange you this coffee table for a sofa. I'm not getting a free sofa. I've
Yes,
given
are.
you
Stop
something.
paying for it. I'm giving you a free sofa and it should be pleased.
Yeah, but you didn't want the coffee table. So
No, but no. But I don't want the 15 quid if I'm going to get a something in return. You know?
I've got an idea.
Well, oh God.
Oh no.
The country of Taiwan
Yes.
declares peace treaty with Japan and salmon army.
Are they at war?
Free sushi all around.
Why do all of your headlines end with free sushi all round? Like it's the ending of some like 90s movie.
Brandon, I'm gonna give you some salmon. You're gonna give me some free sushi, okay?
No,
That's
Joe,
not
you're
good.
so hung up on the free It's not. We're not talking about that anymore. It's not free if you give someone something for
I'm
it.
saying get something for free, and you'll be like, "Oh no," but you're just wrong, isn't it? Let's get it right.
Oh, what about Taiwan gives free sushi to salmon? Accidentally.
Accidental cannibalism.
But also saying gives free sushi accident as if they were like, oh no, we should have charged the salmon, but we gave it away.
The salmon held them at Trident Point.
Salmon are not mer people. They don't have hands, Brandon. I feel like that's something you're failing to grasp.
Have you ever seen a salmon not with a trident?
Yes.
That means.
Yes, I have. Salmon
Have
don't
you- have
come
you,
with tridents.
I don't think I've ever seen a salmon.
They're
other than it being
massive.
cooked.
I've seen a whole raw, like proper, like fresh salmon are massive and they're pretty tasty. I
Whole
like
salmon.
looking at them.
Sorry, Brandon, were you almost about to refer to a live salmon as raw salmon?
I mean, it is technically
Well, I mean,
raw.
it is raw because it hasn't been cooked.
Yeah.
I dissected a salmon last year actually, and it was still frozen, so we had to like chisel through to the vein.
That's quite amusing.
With a hammer and chisel, you have to crack it open.
I remember like a year or so ago, I dissected a heart, and everyone in my group had to go outside because they felt unwell because I was fingering the arteries.
Oh yeah, George and I did that.
Like you probably like shove your finger in there and it makes a really horrible noise, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, I can understand why people would be mildly upset by that, but we did it. Didn't we, George?
Did you like it?
I believe we got 2 or 3 fingers into the aorta.
It was great. It was a good time.
I've done many things in my life that I'm ashamed of. Well, the answer to this headliner is Taiwan urges residents not to change names to salmon for free sushi.
Oh.
Free sushi!
Free sushi.
Jack!
What?
It was free sushi the whole time.
Yeah, I
literally
told
said
you.
free sushi.
I literally said free sushi, but the way that you were constructing the headlines was you said,
Wasn't
"Oh, guy
free
exchanges
sushi.
salmon for free sushi." It's like, why would that be a headline? It's not free.
Yeah, but it is though.
Oh, we're not talking about this anymore. I'm going to gouge my eyes out. The Taiwanese government is urging residents not to change their legal names to salmon to take advantage of a restaurant's free sushi promotion. The Taiwan Ministry of the Interior said that nearly 100 people have registered to change their names to salmon under the country's Name Act to take advantage of a restaurant chain Sushiro's promotion, which promises free sushi for customers whose name include the Chinese characters used to spell the name of the fish. The ministry urged residents not to change their names for the promotion, pointing out that the Name Act only allows a person to change their name 3 times, meaning some of those who change their names for the promotion could be stuck with the name for the rest of their lives.
Forever. You're stuck called salmon.
That's your
Imagine
name.
being called
Jack,
salmon.
Hypothetically, if I sent some salmon to a restaurant, could I get some free sushi in return?
Joe, come on, man. It's the 10th episode, and we're only like 20 minutes in. I don't want to have to fall out.
Just want some free sushi.
It isn't free.
You don't pay for it; it's free, isn't it? do you mean?
No, but you don't always have to pay with money, Joe.
Yes, you do. What do you mean?
Not with money. You don't have to pay with the money. It's still payment. If you give someone something in exchange for something else, that's called payment.
Free.
No. It's not free, Joe.
There's no transaction though, Jack. So
No, that's the definition of a transaction. It's the definition of a
No.
transaction. Is you give
No, you're
something to
wrong.
someone and they give something to you.
no, you're wrong.
It's a transaction.
Jack, just accept it wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Just accept it.
They're
I'm
sending me a gift
not.
of free sushi, therefore it's free.
It's not free! If you have any headliners for us, tweet us at Cloud5Cast using the hashtag Cloud5 or email us at cloud5cast@gmail.com. That's the end of headliners.
Or don't.
Or don't. You don't need to. To be fair, this is the last
If
episode.
you do, though, we will actually ship you sushi. So.
Oh, yeah,
Free
and
sushi.
it's not
Free
free. It's
sushi.
not free. It
Yeah,
is.
you
No,
have
actually,
to-
no. At that point, if you do tweet,
Emphasis on the free.
it is probably free at that point because you're not giving us anything.
Oh, my head hurts.
So, please send us headliners. We might do a season 2. So if you want to get that when we do that, then please send us some
Nice.
stuff.
If you want to do that when
what is
we do it.
doing?
So that's happening now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking with us. It's the last Cloud 5 episode, so I thought, this week in Weird, both segments, I would do a bit of a roundup of the season so far, and find some tremendous tidbits of topical trivia relating to previous portions of the podcast. We've got 3 bits of trivia this section, and 3 bits post-Florida Man.
Yes.
First up, where are scientists looking to store human sperm?
Me.
On the moon.
Oh, Joe's and me.
Wait, Jack, I thought you were going to stop and say,
Horrified.
where are scientists? And just have an awkward silence.
Yeah, me too. There was a long pause after where are scientists? I was like, I don't know.
Where are they, George? Where are they looking to store human sperm? This is related to episode 1 in some way.
I don't remember episode 1.
No.
Oh, what happened in
Is
episode
it?
1? Jack, what's the title of episode 1?
Badgers and space jellies.
I could have
In
sworn
badges.
they're planning on
In
putting...
Space Jelly.
They're putting sperm on the moon, aren't they?
Brandon, you're right. They're putting it on the moon.
Because I'm pretty sure I read an article or
What?
something about how they want to basically build like a massive like sperm, seed, like DNA bank on the moon.
I thought you were going to say sperm C.
No.
No, seeds, DNA, sperms of like loads of different species and stuff. They want to put it on the moon.
Exactly right, Brandon.
Why, though?
They're going to put it on the moon. Well, I'll tell you
Together
why.
and see what happens.
I'll tell you why. Due to the instability of the planet Earth, a repository of specimens on the planet would make the specimens vulnerable. So, a group of scientists laid down their plans about providing the world with a modern global insurance policy. This headliner is scientists consider building Ark on Moon to store 6.7 million sperm specimens.
So what animals is it? Humans?
Well, they're now in the stage of planning for the establishment of a sperm bank, which can safely store reproductive cells, both sperm and ova, coming from 6.7 million species on Earth. This will preserve the cells for both humans and animals. So it's like a Noah's Ark, but with like one from each.
It's like Svalbard.
whoever's
but on the
pumping
moon.
them out is going to be really tired by the end of it.
Yeah.
There's like a massive seed bank in like a very like an Arctic
Svalbard.
place. They've like,
Yeah, I stole
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Svalbard.
Yeah,
you know what? We should put Joe on the moon.
I think you're right. We should send Joe to the moon. The target location for the sperm bank, as reported by New York Post, will be beneath the moon's surface. The proposition is to store the reproductive cells in lunar pits. Scientists discovered these pits just recently, and they believe that lava once flowed through these pits billions of years ago. So it's quite amazing. They're actually gonna, and the reason why this is related to episode 1 is because obviously we talked about jellyfish and monkeys and samosas in space.
Monkey.
That episode. And so I thought, they're actually, this is a headline for that I saw this week, and I thought, well, they are actually building a repository for actual space jelly.
Pixar didn't
How do I
happen.
get involved?
No. I don't think it's like
Can I
a
get
volunteers
involved?
welcome kind of thing. I think they will.
No, but can I though?
No, but Georgia, I don't run it, so it's
you
not
get
really
in
something
touch
I
with
can
people
I
do?
can really pass judgment on.
Can you
Yeah,
point me in the
send them-
direction of
Send them a
the
DM.
The leader of the
Send
new
it to your
world.
leader.
Who is this?
Can I speak to a manager, please?
Can I speak to the manager of the sperm arc, please?
Excuse me, this is not satisfactory.
No. No, I heard the word sperm arc and I wanted to get involved, and I was told that I wasn't allowed to because apparently it's inappropriate. Whatever.
Quite frankly, I
That's
was
fine.
allowed to.
Doesn't bother me. I've got plenty of opportunities elsewhere.
Yeah,
You're lost,
exactly.
baby.
You're lost. Plenty of sperm banks on Earth that I can go to instead of your hoity-toity moon one.
My life's got to go to all of them before I die.
Oh, Joe.
I've got to
All
spread
of them.
my
Every
genes.
single... No! That's the last thing humanity needs. It's just millions of Joe children running around.
And make great
Oh, that would-
advancements.
We
in all
need
fields.
like a mass culling of Joe's children.
Whoa, okay.
Oh
I'm-
my god.
Do you know what?
Oh
Do you know what?
my
When Joe has kids, I'm going to take that snippet and I'm going to play it.
Show it to the children.
But like at their like 10th birthday, and like show them pictures of me. Be like, if you see this man, run.
You have to sit down, talk, as what to do if you see Brandon.
If you see him holding a gas canister, run. So yeah, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts about popping sperm on the moon? Do you think that's a good use of resources?
I think it's pretty impressive.
Joe, if you got involved, you could be the first human male to have your babies on the moon.
I don't know if I want to have children because it might be bad for my clout. Like, oh look, you got a child. Like, yeah, I'm what? I don't want it.
For my clout.
What?
So you're walking down the street, Joe. Sorry, can we just run over that scenario again? So you're walking down the street and a guy says to you, "Oh, hi, Joe. Is that your kid?" And you go, "Yeah, didn't really want him." And then what? You push him in like the gutter. What do you do at that point? Your poor child.
Just pretend it's not your child.
Throw him in the road from like
It's like, oh, it's your kid. No, I don't know. I know who that is.
No, but you think about it because it's like, oh yeah, look, I have to take care of someone else. Like, no, I'm all about me. I'm about the hustle 24/7. I haven't got time for anyone else. Oh, look at me. I need some help. Help yourself. So I did. I pulled myself up out of the gutter, rags to riches, and now see what you're doing. Yeah,
You're
well,
absolutely, Joe, going to be one of those like old men that still wears like tracksuits. You could doing like power walking, and then you get home and you're all red and blotchy, and you
I'm
sit
already
down and drink some
powerful, so I don't
scotch.
see the point.
But Brandon, you said you think it's impressive. This thing.
Yes, I think it's really cool. Like,
I think it's a waste of time.
if there's like a mass extinction event and like quite a lot of humanity.
Oh yeah,
gets
thank God we
wiped
got all
out
them unfertilized eggs on the moon.
on the moon.
No, they
Thank God there's
like
no one up there
increase-
to do anything with them.
No,
They-
by the way, there would be people. It's not like they're going to just fire them up into the moon and forget about it till Armageddon.
Well, you've not explained it very well.
George, I have only the facts that I'm working with here, mate. All right? I didn't.
No,
Again,
you
I
only
did not
seem like
devise
someone up
this.
there. That's what you imply.
Because if there's people working up there, maintaining it and making sure everything's fine, I think that's really cool.
I think someone would have to go up. I
Maintaining
mean,
the
they're talking
sperm.
about setting it up in an underground like vent, aren't they? So I think someone would have to go up with it.
Well, if they did that, they'd probably have to have like some form of laboratory or like sort of main area up top.
Next bit of trivia. This one's related to episode 3. Where would you look if I asked you to find a Fiji mermaid?
Fiji.
Fiji.
Ha! Classic mistake. Where?
Have we been fooled?
If we were on QI,
I'd
the
look
klaxon
in the
would be going
sea.
right now, and the word Fiji would be popping up on the screen.
The word idiot.
yeah. They should do that on QI. They should just replace the klaxon with the word "fucking moron," and it like pops up every time you get a question wrong.
Hang on, I've got another answer.
Okay, what's your answer, Joe?
Hang on, let me think about it.
Is this one that you're prepared to share this time?
Well, the fact that he said, "I've got another answer," followed by, "Hang on, let me think about it."
It doesn't require a lot of thought. Where would you
Do
look?
or do
Fiji
not.
mermaid. I'm like, go and get me a Fiji mermaid right now. Where would you go after Fiji when you go to Fiji and
Fijian
find that they're not there?
coast.
I look in
No,
the
no,
deep
no, no.
depths of the Sahara Desert. Because they
Deep
always
depths
where
of
you
the
never
Sahara
expect them to be, hiding in plain sight.
Well, no, Joe. And if you did try that, you would probably die of heat stroke.
No, I just not be hot.
The answer is sideshows, particularly that of a P.T. Barnum, who you may know from The Greatest Showman. He was way nicer.
Oh.
Hugh Jackman's Barnum is way nicer than Barnum was in real life. Real Barnum was a bit of a fucking nutcase.
Oh.
Or alternatively, you could look for a Fiji mermaid in a Japanese fishing boat. It's a famous hoax perpetuated by Barnum and other more recent sideshow owners. They would have them in glass cases and say, "Oh, look at this mythical creature. Let me send you a picture."
It
Oh.
just looks like an old man.
Well, that looks like the
like it.
that looks like the weird chocolate worm from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah. Look.
Chocolate.
That's a Fiji mermaid.
I don't like it.
And it's basically a mummified body of a creature, half of a juvenile monkey sewn to half of a fish.
Ugh.
The original one had pendulous breasts on its chest. The mouth was wide open with its teeth bared. Yeah, pendulous.
Were they constantly swinging?
Yeah, flying around.
Like a what's it called? Like what's that thing called where you have like the
pendulum.
circles and you move them? No. Like an
Newton's
abacus or
cradle.
something.
Yeah, Newton's cradle. Yeah.
So this is monkey fish.
Yeah, it's a monkey fish, and it's not a real, not a
I
real
can't see the
living being,
breasts.
obviously. No, that one doesn't have breasts because the original one was owned by a Barnum and it was on display in places like Boston and London and stuff, but it was in one of the fires that devastated Barnum's show, so it got lost in the flames.
Oh,
Shame.
that's sad.
People have tried to make replicas of it, and it was the original was found by an American sea captain called Samuel Barrett Eads, and he bought it from Japanese sailors in 1822, and he paid $6,000 for it. The mermaid is believed to have been created by Japanese fishermen as a joke or as a religious icon for ceremonial purposes. So,
What?
Definitely a joke.
What, you don't want to have like Jesus on the crucifix in your church now. You want to have fish monkey
Fish monkey.
on a slab of driftwood, and they pray
Yeah.
to fish monkey.
in Barnum's autobiography, he described the Fiji mermaid as an ugly, dried-up, black-looking, diminutive specimen about 3 feet long. Its mouth was open, its tail turned over, and its arms thrown up, giving it the appearance of having died in great agony.
Oh wow,
That's nice.
lovely.
Anyone at home who obviously can't see what we're saying, please look up the Fiji mermaid, but don't do it late at night because it's a pretty scary
Or
bastard.
do.
Yeah, if you like that shit, go for it. But it's a pretty scary. It's a freak, basically. It's a horrible monster.
What a freak.
You're a freak. Why can't you just accept it? What it is. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Jack, what,
Open
what
your
if, What if
mind.
the Fiji monster's the only normal thing,
Yeah.
and we're all weird?
I think we're the
Then what?
freaks. Maybe
Then
we
what
are.
would you do?
So, guys, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to break it to you. The Fiji mermaid is not real.
So it's a
What is it? I've
hoax.
seen one.
It isn't real. It was
I've seen it,
invented
though.
by human beings. It's not
Have
real,
we
George.
seen it?
No.
But
No.
I've seen one.
You're in denial. You're in
Have we
denial.
seen it?
It's not real.
The thing is, that must be the case with like all mythical creatures. Then, I bet you all mythical creatures are just created by humans.
Probably, although there is might be some basis for the existence of some of them. So maybe that like someone saw a gorilla and was like, "Oh, it's a Sasquatch" or whatever. You know, that is a Fiji mermaid, and I hope you like that, and I hope you have sweet dreams tonight.
I never do.
Okay.
They're all terrifying and horrible.
Our final bit of trivia: what is extreme ironing?
When you iron to an extreme extent.
Is it like doing a pentathlon whilst also ironing?
You're not far off, actually.
It's like ironing, but you also iron yourself.
Is it like an
'cause you're-
ironing obstacle course, but it's also a race?
Oh, John's coming up to the tablecloth. Let's see if he can handle this.
Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth.
Right down the gusset.
Extra points for that one. Oh, Jim's creased his shirt.
It's basically you got to duct tape some irons to you, like to your back, and then you lie down and flip the switch on, and you have to lie there and see how long you can last until your back peels off.
Oh, God. That is extreme,
what a
for
lovely
real.
That is very extreme.
Thanks for that, Brandon.
I invented it.
Well, I don't know if it's going to
yeah.
catch on quite in the same way. Well, this was inspired by... Guess which episode this was inspired by? Not the episode number, but the subject in the episode that this is inspired by. It's a sport.
Oh, dead goat polo.
Exactly, Dead Goat Polo.
Yes.
This is inspired by the Koga's horse sport, so I went looking for some weird sports around the world. Extreme ironing has to be one of my favourites. It's an extreme sport and a performance art which originated in the UK, but a documentary on the sport helped popularise it around the world and is now performed globally. As the name suggests, it sees people take ironing boards to remote and extreme locations where they then iron items of clothing. This could be on a mountainside, while snowboarding, in a canoe, while parachuting, or in any other extreme situation or location.
What about drowning?
What about drowning? I feel like it's quite hard to win if you're dead.
Wow.
Oh, you
Alright,
could
fine.
do it whilst having sex.
Oh,
Don't be inspired by that.
Oh, they were actually ironing while skydiving.
Yeah, 100%. They do. Of course, they actually iron. This isn't a fraud. This is real. This is extreme ironing, Brandon. Show some respect.
How do they get the iron to work?
turn it on.
Yeah, but you have a plug socket. to
I'm
do that.
I'm sure there are battery powered irons.
No, it's just a really long extension lead all the way to the ground.
If the shirt that they're ironing, like, what happens if it just flies away? Like, what are they going to iron then?
They probably
Themselves.
well, I don't know.
The parachute, so it works. Iron the
Yeah, you
parachute.
got to.
Imagine.
Everyone
But
knows
they
that
melt-
parachutes have to be totally creaseless, otherwise they fail
So
automatically.
they melt a hole through it and they're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, and then you get all the plastic fumes in your mouth.
Yeah, more concerned about plastic fumes than the fact that your parachute's got a hole in it.
Yeah, Brandon, you're right. Of course, you got to be concerned about the long-term impact on your lungs rather than the ground that is plummeting towards you. The
Nice.
Extreme Ironing Bureau, which is a real thing, defines it as the latest danger sport that combines the thrills of an extreme outdoor activity with the satisfaction of a well-pressed shirt.
I've got
Yeah,
a
but
well-pressed shirt.
I want to see the results, like of when you go skydiving whilst doing that. Like, do you reckon it comes out all good, or
Well, I don't know. We should arrange to watch it one day.
because like at the end goal, like if it's not properly ironed, then what was the whole point?
Well, you're right. Well, you'd probably lose points if it wasn't that
It's
iron.
like the customer or yourself is not going to want to wear that, are they?
No, they're not. They're not at all.
Especially if it's
really.
got frosty crystals on it because you're so high up.
I don't think you need to sell it, and I also don't think that they are high up long enough to freeze over.
Yeah, but what if they were?
George, we're not talking about that. That is not. That's not. You're like my little brother. No, but what if though? No, but what if it was exactly like this situation that you have not described? Well, in 2002, the first Extreme Ironing World Championships took place with 10 nations competing, so it really is a popular sport.
What nations?
Good question. I'll find out for you.
I want to know. I want to know who takes part. So maybe I can sign up.
This is actually, I am legit in saying that after COVID is done, we should go and have a look.
What, and do some extreme ironing?
No, I don't know. I'm not do it, but I would like to
Watch
see it.
it.
You can watch.
I can't seem to find any info just now on the World Championships, but I have found that the extreme ironing has inspired another sport called extreme cello.
What does that involve, Jack?
Well, basically, it's like the same as extreme ironing, but instead of ironing, you're playing the cello instead.
Oh, you know what? We should make our own one.
That is incredible.
Extreme
That's
spanking.
just incredible.
Extreme spanking? No, because that sounds like a sexual thing. Or,
No.
indeed, could be quite dangerous. Extreme spanking doesn't sound like spanking in extreme locations. That sounds like spanking normally, but with more and more dangerous implements.
But yeah, like different weapons.
Here comes the Henry Hoover.
Here comes the axe.
50 points!
Yeah. Here comes. Oh.
A red hot poker, steaming.
Is that a Toyota pickup truck I see?
Just do extreme podcasting, or we just do a podcast in the air.
Yeah, we're like sat at a round table in chairs and there's and like sat like leaning over talking to each other, plummeting towards the earth from 1,000 feet in the air.
Such a good idea.
This is just all you can hear is just like.
Yeah, just like Brandon, that sounded like a wet farm.
Actually,
That did not sound.
oh no.
That sounded like a wet rumble. Oh, that's...
No.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
That was not nice.
That's like your poo just...
Oh my god!
We need to listen to that back because I can't hear it through my headphones.
Do it again.
No, please don't. Please, I just nearly threw up. Oh my god.
I can
Oh,
just
so
imagine
funny.
Jack like curled up in a ball on his bedroom floor,
Oh.
foaming.
Oh my god. I really, really hope that stays in. And it
Oh,
sounds
I really
the same.
hope that you can hear that.
Yeah. Oh my god. Good lord. Tears in my eyes. I need to compose
So
myself.
hot and wet.
Stop. Like a cauldron.
It's
Oh.
like bubbling in his pants.
Okay. So that's extreme ironing, and there are some other wonderful trivia awaiting you following our next segment. Now for our beloved Florida Man segment, where Brandon guides us through weekly tales of the art of fruitcakes across the pond. For the last of our forays into Floridian's frequent follies, Brandon brings us this week's Florida Man.
Well, I mean, I just have to say now that I during this week I've actually run an ultimate battle, working out the true favourite Cloud 5 icon, and Florida Man came victorious.
Oh, brilliant. As things should be.
And I've decided this week to actually change up Florida Man. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to host Florida Man again. I don't know if we're ever going to come back to do a season 2. Personally, I want to. And so I have got together 5 Florida men, and each one of the Florida men represents one of us, and the article was published on our birthday.
Hooray! I like this.
Yes.
I like this idea. We're going to find out which Florida... It's like a BuzzFeed quiz.
Wow.
Which Florida man are you?
Yeah.
Are you the one that stripped naked and jizzed in a swimming pool?
So I'm starting with Jack.
Brilliant.
Florida man arrested for enforcing social distancing by firing shots in hotel lobby.
Oh my god.
So this was actually...
the only way
this
to enforce the
occurred
rules.
on Jack's birthday.
Instead of saying, "Oh, excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to follow COVID rules," you obviously opened fire.
That's probably the only way they can do it in Florida.
This man's called Douglas Marks, and he wanted to enforce social distancing. So when he spotted people without masks, he basically fired 4 warning shots.
Oh, okay, so he didn't kill people.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't aim at anyone, but they still decided to charge him with assault.
Free my boy.
Free him, did nothing.
He was charged with assault after firing all these shots, these 4 warning shots. He basically said to them, you have to leave. And then they heard gunshots, and basically everyone was running away.
Sprinting away.
So that's Jack's birthday. It's kind of a short article.
I love it, thank you. That's me. That's me as a Florida man now.
I like it.
That is you.
Now we've got Joe's one from the 20th of October. Florida man surprised by snake whilst driving.
Surprised? I think surprised is probably the right adjective.
What sort of why does somebody decide to write an article about a man who was surprised by a snake?
It's
just casually sitting next to him
He's
in the
like,
car.
"Oh, well,
looks over.
it's four sentences long, so I'm just going to read it out to
It
you.
was probably a bit more than, "Oh look, a snake in my car." It was probably more like, fuck, there's a snake.
So the article goes, "What would you do if you saw a large snake on the hood of your car? A snake slithered his way through the engine of one man's car during rush hour traffic in Florida on Wednesday. The man said he sees a lot of snakes where he lives. However, he closed his air vents just in case the snake wanted to crawl through. The man thinks the creature slept under the hood from when he went kayaking over the weekend."
It is quite perfect that it involves an animal. Oh, Joe hates animals.
I don't like animals.
Right. Luke's one is probably my personal favourite. Florida man arrested after hitting dad with pizza because he was mad he helped birth him.
I just found out that you helped birth me.
So much
That's
is
disgusting.
happening in just that one.
He threw a pizza at him.
So basically a man in Pasco County was arrested for domestic battery after admitting he hit his dad in the face with a slice of pizza because he was mad his
That's
dad helped
battery.
birth him.
Domestic battery.
That counts as battery? Really?
Well, so basically the guy
I'm
pinned
sure
his
that
dad
slice of
down
pizza
and
really
yelled
hurt.
at him after shoving the pizza in his face. And after letting his dad get up, the dad went outside and waited for authorities to arrive.
I mean, obviously that's quite a bad thing to do. But he put a pizza in his face and shouted at him because he was obviously having a bad day, possibly. And the dad then immediately
maybe.
called the police.
But do you know what
And
gets better,
stepped
right?
outside.
The guy knew he was going to be going to jail, but the best part about this article is deputies observed chunks of cheese and sauce where the incident happened. So you've got we've got a murder scene, and they're putting all the proof down, here's a blood stain.
Chunks of cheese.
They're sat there kneeling at these chunks of cheese and pizza
They're
sauce.
putting down labels along the crime scene. It's just a label, sort of cheese, sauce.
A guy comes up, Exhibit A, sauce.
And what makes this even better is 2 family members had to back up what the dad's story. So the guy gets charged with domestic battery for hitting his dad with a slice of pizza.
That's brilliant.
And now I've got George.
That is me.
Oh no, right. George's one is a horrible one. But it was
God.
Good.
No. I mean, it is horrible. I'm worried to read on because I will be very sad. Florida man accused of decapitating hamster, discarding body in box near his home.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
The witnesses say animal was sadistically mutilated.
Oh no.
Jesus.
A little hamster.
That should have been
Little
Joe's one.
hamster.
The thing is, like, I couldn't find like any decent ones, and like I was like, we need like a curveball, so I'm gonna have like a really sad one.
Yeah, we need a curveball. How about hamster decapitation?
Hamster.
There is no bigger curveball than a decapitated rodent.
I'm just gonna summarize this. I'm not gonna read it into detail. So basically, this Florida man has been accused of buying a hamster from a pet store and then decapitating it. And
Immediately killed it.
apparently she's this woman who found it says she's also found 5 other boxes within the past year
Ew.
that contained like mutilated small animals.
Ew, that's really bad. Isn't that like one of the main warning signs of a serial killer? Is torturing and killing animals?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think so.
And
Brilliant.
they found evidence like CCTV camera footage of him, and they got a search warrant for his house, and he was arrested, and he's facing charges of animal cruelty and unlawful disposal
Free
of
my
dead
guy.
animals.
Free my guy.
No, free my guy this time.
No,
Free him.
and this was actually in
Free up the
2021.
whole crew.
So this was
Wow,
only
that's
a few
this
months
year.
ago. Yep.
This was his
Jesus.
lockdown hobby.
Oh Jesus!
That
He's lo-
happened literally on my birthday this year.
Yeah, so George, like you're celebrating your birthday, and a
I was
guy's
celebrating my
killed it.
birthday and this guy was decapitating a hamster.
Luke, that's his lockdown hobby. Some people like to learn the cello. Some people like to bake cakes. This guy likes to capture and murder small animals. Hey guys, this is welcome to my vlog.
I decided
Today I'll
to-
be catching a rabbit
And killing it.
and wearing its ears.
I've heard a funny story, right, about... Because I used to do scouts a lot. And we used to have an incredible leader called David. He was telling me this story from apparently years ago. He was able to buy, like, rabbits for, like, the scouts to learn how to, like, butcher. Like, if you're in the wild, like, how would you catch and butcher a rabbit to, like, survive?
Oh god, that's rather
And-
intense for a scout, isn't it?
No,
I
it's
mean,
pretty good.
I left at Cubs, and that was pretty tame. That was like paint a shield, you know, like how to spear hunt a deer and kill it with your bare hands.
So he decided to prank one scout by cutting open this rabbit and putting a Kinder Surprise like capsule with a toy in it inside of it. So when this
Oh.
kid was butchering the rabbit,
Oh my
he
God.
found a Kinder Surprise thing and thought every rabbit came with a surprise.
Oh my
What
God.
an idiot! I mean, look, if a kid is so young or stupid to think that all rabbits come with a Kinder Surprise in them, they are not ready emotionally or mentally to be able to butcher a rabbit.
Yeah.
That was a bad move, David.
Speaking of stupid people, do you want to hear my birthday, Florida man?
I do,
I'd love to.
very much.
Florida man finds World War II hand grenade, brings it with him to Taco Bell.
Casually.
Whoa! Oh,
With-
antique grenade, which
Is
could
that
still
with
be activated.
purpose?
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it to the restaurant.
This is a Floridian fisherman who decided to play with a magnet, who then managed to catch a World War II antique hand grenade.
Oh my god.
He decided to put the grenade in his car trunk, or as we call it in the UK, boot, and then drove to Taco Bell before calling police.
He's like, oh, I really need a taco.
He was
Which-
so hungry.
Which obviously then resulted in the Taco Bell being not abandoned, but like evacuated.
Abandoned to this day.
Well, and basically it said a bomb squad was called and the restaurant was evacuated to make sure everyone was safe.
Wait, so he rang the police when he was just sat in Taco Bell. He's like, I'm going to do it now.
No, but it gets better, right? So it was non-functional. So the bomb squad, the bomb squad.
Bum squad. Bum squad.
That's my guys. That's
The
my
bum
guys.
squad. Oh, brilliant. Oh, guys, we've got a real situation here. You're going to need to call the bum squad. Everyone out.
need
Everyone out by order of the bum squad.
No, the bomb squad gave an all clear of the area after removing the grenade, and then it finished off with the Taco Bell has since been reopened.
Good. Oh, brilliant. I
Thank
was worried
God.
that it was going to be permanently shut.
Thank God for that.
So
Yeah.
we had some we've had some decent Florida men for our birthdays, apart from George's.
Yeah, mine was kind of disturbing.
Yeah, genuinely.
Well, I liked it. I didn't like that one specifically. I liked the segment.
They like it.
They do.
If we do return for a season 2, I'm going to find other ways to get fun Florida men in.
Or send in your birthdays, and we'll find yours.
Yeah.
Send in
Like-
your birthdays, and we can dedicate a
Yeah.
Florida man to you.
Yeah, let's think of like people that have been like really good supporters. You've got like Alban. He's not a good supporter, but I want to see what his Florida.
Why
man
was
would
he
be.
the first
He's our
one that you
biggest
go
fan.
to when you think really good
He's
supporters?
literally the opposite.
He hates it.
I'd love to see Bryony's Florida man,
I'd like to see Brian as Florida man as well.
Yeah.
and Jack's drama teacher.
That seems like a sexual slur when you say it. Like
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I don't know how I feel about
Does your
saying it.
drama teacher even like still listen? Does she
No,
still
No.
there's no way that Lydia still listens to this.
I didn't
There's
think
no
so
way.
either.
I think she did. She did say to me, like, because it came up in conversation, and she was like, "Oh, I need to catch up." But obviously, she does work. She does have a life to live.
Yeah, she
you know?
is like a busy teacher.
But she listened to our first episode all the way through.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
To be fair, that is impressive in
I'm
itself.
surprised she got that
So-
far actually.
It is. Shout out to Lydia.
Hi, Lydia.
Let's find out your Florida man. Get back on here.
Otherwise, the bum squad will be arriving.
Not the bomb
Otherwise, we'll
squad.
deploy the bum squad to your
Joe,
location.
Joe, you can't threaten my drama teacher with the bum squad.
You know what?
You can't do
we
that.
should have matching jumpers that say bum squad.
No, because it makes us
That's
look
gonna
like
be
gay
merch.
swingers.
Merch.
No.
Merch.
No. It makes us look like we're going dogging together. I don't want to.
If you want a
Cottaging.
bum squad
No
jumper,
one's gonna
you'll
buy
get
that.
it.
Calls of the bum squad. That's our merch. Oh.
Like
That's
road
season
trip
2.
with the bum
it's not
squad.
Cloud 5. It's season 2 is the Bum Squad podcast.
Well, thank you, Brandon, for revealing our Florida man. It's like our Patronus. Which Florida man do we own? I'm proud. I'm happy
I'm
with
not.
that. Very good.
Apart,
Well done.
apart from Hamster Man.
Well, yeah, but you have to take with the good with the bad, don't you?
Yeah, true.
For every Florida man that wants to have sex with a railing at McDonald's, there is one who mutilates animals. This week in Weird, 3 more bites of trivia. First up, what would you put in an ancient Roman energy drink?
Lead. Because that's what you used anyway. Might as well have it.
Cocaine or urine or
Mercury.
they like their penises, so maybe semen.
They did used to use urine as mouthwash, but
Oh god,
that is
that
disgusting.
is
but no, that is not what they would put in the drink. They used to put roasted pig or goat dung soaked in vinegar.
Oh yeah, my favourite
Soaking in
mid-morning
vinegar just makes it even
snack.
worse.
Charioteers used to neck it before races if they needed a boost, and Emperor Nero was such a big fan of the drink, he actually ensured that he was able to drink it regularly.
Surely that did something bad to their immune system.
And his brain. Isn't eating shit like literally one of the things that causes horrible mental problems?
So that was eating brain caused.
No,
death
that's eating brain.
Oh, that's eating brain.
Only human brain. You can eat animal brain.
Right, but eating
But you-
human brain actually causes psychological disorder. That's interesting. The ancient Roman energy drinks are not the only weird drinks throughout history and still existing. The 3 that I'm about to tell you about can still be got today.
Yeah.
Horse milk.
Oh god.
Well, and the article I found this on says mare's milk, to be precise, as if it's going, oh no, stallion milk.
It's better.
It just
Yeah.
pisses into your mouth.
It's the horse milk is the basis of an alcoholic drink called kumis, which is beloved in countries like Mongolia, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan.
Yes.
Yeah,
So they do everything with their horses.
they love horses.
Do you think they have like attractions to their horse?
No, I think their culture is
No.
just strongly built around horses, Brandon. I don't think there's anything untoward going on. I say untoward, they're literally sucking up horse milk.
Another busy
but-
day, and then they get bummed by the horse.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on. You want to learn about the
Bum
horse
squad, the
milk,
horse
okay?
bum squad.
Yeah, I do want to learn about.
You
the
want to
milk.
hear about this milk because it's interesting. The milk is not usually consumed in its pure form because it is a strong laxative. It is no
Wow.
wonder then that Central Asian people have been fermenting it and turning it into alcohol for millennia. The earliest recorded mention of kumis dates from the year 5 BC.
Wow.
It's similar to beer
Wow.
in its strength and form of consumption.
What? What do you mean form of
That's-
consumption? Not drinking.
Not injection.
It's similar
Yeah.
to beer because you drink it.
By that logic, you could say any drink is similar to beer. Oh no, it's just like beer. You put it in your mouth.
Yeah, you swallow it.
Do you
As
have a
long as it's
picture of
physically
milky
drinkable.
horse liquid?
No, but Brandon, you can look that up. I'll leave that up to you to. I'll leave that up to you and your search history. While you're doing that, I'll move on to the next one. Seagull wine.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is?
I have a feeling it might be wine,
Seagull.
Is it just
but
blood?
inside the barrel they put a seagull.
Brandon is. I'm so upset that you got that right straight away. Seagull wine is made by the Inuit people of the far north, and it is the result of placing a dead seagull in water and leaving the
No
whole
way
thing
you
to
got that
slowly ferment in the sun. Yeah, yeah, that's
So
what
you
we
put a
like.
dead bird in liquid in the sun.
That
and you
can't be
drink
healthy. It can't be healthy at all.
That's horrible.
Thing is though, like that doesn't surprise me. The reason I got that right is that's how like you make quite a lot of fermented things. Like, you know, fish sauce.
Yeah, but you don't dump corpses in it, do you?
Fish sauce is literally a barrel of dead fish fermented
Ugh.
for months, and
That's
it basically
horrifying.
all these like fermented bodily fluids like come down at the bottom, and like that's what makes fish sauce.
Oh, I don't like that knowledge.
Romans loved fermented fish sauce. They called it garum.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've watched a video about that.
They
It's really
loved it.
interesting, isn't it?
Apparently, it was a rich source of umami flavor.
Umami.
I love umami flavour. It's my favourite flavour, umami.
Umami being the savoury.
My personal favourite of the drinks. The sourdough cocktail has been proudly served by the Sourdough Cocktail Club in Dawson, Yukon Territory since 1973. It's not so much as a cocktail as it is an ingredient that can be added to any drink. A real preserved human toe.
Yep,
Oh.
I've heard of this one as well.
That
You've
is
heard of this?
Right.
disgusting.
What do you know about it, Brandon?
It's quite common. Like, I've heard like quite a lot of whiskey. Like, well, it's obviously not common, but like I've heard a lot about like some whiskies that are like made with like a preserved toe.
Yeah.
Um,
Like you say, it's not common. It's common in certain circles. It's not like you're gonna get like sold at a Burger King. Would you like a Coke, a Pepsi, or a toe?
I want a Coke with a toe. Is that possible?
That multiple people have donated their toes to this bar, and it now has a small collection. There used to be a $500 fine for drinking the toe itself, which was increased to $2,500 when a man deliberately drank the toe in one shot in 2013. There's only one rule. You can drink it
That guy's
fast,
a
you can
Chad.
drink it slow, but the lips have got to touch the toe.
oh,
That's
the
I love
worst.
when it rhymes.
My faith in humanity has decreased several notches after reading that.
I mean, obviously, like I don't know if I would drink whiskey with a toe in it. Like, it kind of makes sense because like when you have like whiskey, you'd put quite a common thing you have in whiskey is like I can't remember the exact name, but it's basically like a type of like a bead, like a metal bead, or like a bit of like wood, like maybe a bit of the barrel the whiskey was brewed in, because
Penis.
like, and those things are very common for like enhancing the flavour, but I don't think I could ever
shaft.
have shaft. I don't think I could ever have like whiskey of a
These
throbbing.
suggestions are fire, George.
Have you seen Rasputin's penis?
Sorry, no, Brandon,
Where did
you
that come
changed tack slightly at the end there.
No, it's related
Okay.
How?
because basically his penis was preserved, and it is the biggest thing.
That's kind of amazing.
I know. Imagine that in whiskey.
They like it.
Make sure my lips touched.
Our penultimate piece of trivia. How do you celebrate when the apocalypse is delayed?
Slaughter.
Brandon's right.
Actually.
Brandon's right.
What is wrong with me today?
The movement for the restoration of the Ten Commandments of God was a Ugandan cult that told its followers that the apocalypse would come in the year 2000. But when that day came and went without incident, they moved the goalpost to March 17th, feeling a bit optimistic. They say, oh, we were a bit wrong the first time. It's coming, guys, don't worry. And then when it didn't come, they murdered all of their members, burning 530 of them in a church and poisoning and stabbing hundreds of others. Last time I checked, thou shalt not
coughing so
kill is one of
badly.
the more famous commandments, but, you know.
Oh, that is
whatever.
so amusing
You know,
to me.
yeah.
The fact that,
Fine.
like, what do you do if the apocalypse doesn't happen? I was just sat there, you know, it'll be funny. Slaughter. And Jack's like, yeah, they actually killed 500 people. I'm like, oh, crap.
Kill everyone.
They did. I find it so funny that they it wasn't like, oh, the apocalypse didn't come and they went mental and killed everyone. It was like, we'll give it one more shot. And if it doesn't
Try
come...
again, and if it doesn't, then we'll kill everyone, yeah.
Yeah, the only reasonable... Plan C. Plan B, move it back to March 17th. Plan C, nobody lives.
I was going to say, they're like, crap, we've been rumbled. They're going to know that this is all a sham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, it's just cults are insane. That, by the way, guys, is a reference to episode 7, in which we do talk about cults. I believe the title of that episode is El Chapo's Nuts. And finally, our last bit of trivia before factoids. How did Loki win a wall-building contest?
Loki?
Yep, the Norse god Loki.
Avengers?
What, the god of mischief?
Yep.
Did he enslave vampires?
No, although that's a very interesting specific guess. No, he used one of his powers, which is the ability to shapeshift.
Did he go turn into a snake? And because Thor loves snakes, he went to go pick up the snakes, and he turned back into him. He was like, "Bleh, it's me," and then he stabbed him.
No, he's got to build a wall,
Is
Brandon.
that a reference?
That's a reference to Thor Ragnarok.
No.
I watched that the other day, actually.
It's such a good movie. Sorry, I had to.
I thought you were just throwing something out there, and it was because it's been a while since I watched Thor Ragnarok.
Such a good movie.
Totally, yeah, it is a
Pop
great
culture.
movie. Ah, no pop culture allowed. I'll give you your answer, unless anyone has any other further guesses. He made a bet with a giant, and the giant was winning, so Loki did something. What did he do?
Oh, I bet he was shapeshifted into an
Ruptured the
eagle and then
giant's
flew the
anus.
eagle up
called
the
him
giant's
Bum Squad.
penis. And then when he was inside of the giant's urethra, he turned into an elephant and it exploded his penis. And then
That's
the
very-
giant was like, "Ouch."
This is very similar to the way that people said that Ant-Man would defeat Thanos. He'd
Oh,
shrink
yeah,
off his palm and then expand.
Go up his Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
Thanos, yeah. Thanos.
Well, in order to steer away from pop culture, I'll give you your answer. Loki's weirdest moment, in my opinion, occurred when he made a bet with a giant that had been employed to build a protective wall for the gods. Loki offered the giant the goddess Freya as a reward if he could complete the wall in time, which I feel was maybe slightly presumptuous on Loki's part, just to be like, yeah, sure, you can just have her.
Yeah, you can own this woman.
Yeah. Well, the giant used a stallion who hauled the bricks much faster than Loki expected. Faced with losing the bet and being killed by his fellow gods for giving up Freya, Loki transformed himself into a mare and wooed the giant stallion. The ensuing act of love led to Loki giving birth to an 8-legged spider horse. With his stallion occupied by Loki, the giant lost the
What?
bet and was killed by Thor.
Loki.
That's a real myth.
Loki gave birth to a spider horse.
Yeah, an 8-legged spider horse for whatever
casual.
reason.
I
Apparently,
need to Google
that's how it
spider
works.
horse.
If a mare and a stallion mate, obviously he wasn't a normal mare.
What was he the mayor of?
No, oh my,
That was a really
I don't
funny
get
joke,
it.
George. That
a
was really
mare,
funny.
a female horse. Yeah, Loki turned himself into a female horse, mated with the male horse, and created for some reason some abomination.
Spider horse.
And
it
then, and
wooed
because
it, did it?
yeah, Loki wooed it. I think he could have possibly avoided that entire situation by not making the bet. Also, I'm still a little bit hung up on the fact that he just offered Freya as if that was just some she didn't get consult. Nobody else got consulted on that, especially
Yeah.
Freya. Nobody gets to. It's like at the end of it's like during factoids. If Brandon was like, well, you can't have any money. You can have my sister.
Oh yeah.
And then when Joe starts to win, you think, oh, I can't give my sister away. That's awful. I haven't spoken to her about it. So Brandon proceeds to have sex with Joe.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a
And
fun final bet.
somehow create a monstrosity.
I'm still the winner, so
Brandon
yeah.
gives birth to the 8-legged spider horse. Well, I thought it was amazing and horrifying. And that's the final bit of trivia for This Week in Weird. Now for a more erudite experience, our regular scientific segment presented by our very own Luke Potter, Lord of the Science Corner. For this final episode, what do you have for us today, Luke?
I have valve replacements, so heart valve replacements, because I read an article on it earlier this week and it was really, really cool. However, I do feel very out of the loop almost, because it's all been like a rounding up episode. It's all been very much like looking on what's happened before, and I didn't really get the memo. So
Sorry about that.
this isn't going to be a roundup of Science Corner.
Just a bit ashamed of yourself.
Yeah,
It's just gonna
pretty
be-
much.
It's just going to be science.
That's good. That's what the
just gonna
people are
be
here
more
for.
science.
Yeah.
Luke, do you know what, Luke? It's been a day of reminiscing and a bit of grief. You know, we're losing our baby here. It's like one of our children is going off to college. One of your and my children.
Baby.
One of the children that you and I
Our
share
children.
is going
Is it
off.
the one that Joe and Brandon made?
Yeah, no. This is mine and Luke's, not the horrible monster baby. and they're going off to college, and we're not going to see him for a while, and we just need a taste of normality. Science Corner. It's like our child's coming back for Christmas.
Yeah, just you wait, Luke. The reunion we have in 70 years will be great.
Is that the show? Is that the what you reckon? Is that your estimation? You think we're going to be doing this when we're 87? Do you?
Season 2 of the
No,
podcast.
I'm gonna
Season 2
miss it in
Season
like 3
2
weeks and beg you guys to
18,000
return.
episodes.
in 2091.
Welcome to Cloud 5.
Sadly, there are only 4 of us because Luke's in a coma.
Still. Anyway.
Got eaten by an owl.
Right, anyway.
All right.
Anyway. Heart valves. We contain valves in our hearts, which are like little pieces of tissue which help our heart when it beats. It helps segment the blood, so blood only goes into the correct segments when it's required to, and it also helps build up pressure for what is called systole, which is basically contraction of the muscle. Sometimes our heart valves don't work, either when we're born or this comes in later on in
Or you
life.
get
This can
fat.
be due to yeah,
That
and
is
this can be
true.
due to disease
You
or
fatties.
damage that happens to the heart valves. And so there are 2 main types.
By being fat.
Stop, George.
Just wanna
Let the
hear
man
about the
speak.
heart valves.
Let the man
Anyway.
speak.
So there are 2 main ways in which the heart valves don't work, and the first one is that they don't open properly, which is called stenosis, and the second one is that they don't close properly, and that's called regurgitation. And so there are 2 types of therapy that's used for this, and the first type is mechanical, and so surgeons will implant valves, artificial valves made from carbon and metal-like materials,
Right.
into people's hearts, and these will mechanically open. They won't use the muscle movements of the hearts to open. They'll do it by themselves. They'll have some sort of regulatory...
It's like a lever, and you pull the lever and it opens. You close the lever and it goes back in.
You'd have to do it
every
quite a
single
lot.
time your heart beats.
You get some muscle on your arm, wouldn't you? If you're doing that.
That'd be like a positive feedback loop, like, because the more you do it, the more oxygen you need to do it, and therefore the more you have to do it.
You get a lot of muscle on that arm.
Anyway, and then the second type is called tissue valves, and very much like the name suggests, it's made out of animal tissue. So usually it's
Oh, I thought you meant like
extracted
Kleenex.
Yeah. No, you'd never specified animal
they make,
tissue.
like-
You can make it clear in future, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
People listen to this podcast for scientific facts, not for vague sayings.
not for
Sayings.
sayings.
Vague jargon that Luke has evidently just invented.
Yeah, no, they make plaster of Paris from like Kleenex, and they just kind of put it in there.
No,
Anyway.
Luke, they make it from baguettes and garlic. That's how they make plaster of Paris, okay?
Alright.
Is that clear, Luke?
I'm literally...
We are your
Anyway.
science now.
You, Luke, were the bollock.
We are the
You're no
science
science man.
You've been demoted to janitor of the science corner.
Janitor.
Yeah.
I just
Let's
cleaned up
go up to
around
Luke
here
in
now.
the janitor corner.
The janitor corner. Well, in news this week, there's been a janitor who cleaned an entire gymnasium in one day. Brilliant, Luke. Now shut up. Factoids.
Honestly. I think the Luke shows ought to be incapable. I think I should take over Science Corner because I know all the science.
You do all of it.
Anyway, so this tissue therapy is usually made from pigs or cow or even human tissue, and it's just shoved in your heart, and it will use your heart muscles, and it will
Put it
just
in it.
work like normal.
There's no surgery. They
However-
just like stick their arm down your throat with like a pork
Open
chop,
wide.
like drive it in.
Well, it's funny you should say that. There is actually an operation, quite a risky one. It's open heart surgery. So they kind of crack through your ribs, like in the middle of your ribs, and then they kind of take that out, and then they stop your heart, and then
Chuck
they
in the
put
bin.
you on a shove it in the bin, put it in the
Won't be doing that. Oh shit.
And then they put the patient on a heart-lung bypass, which just keeps their blood flowing while
They'll
they
just hold their breath.
operate on the heart. No, because they need to still circulate blood.
Do you mean? Just breathe.
They just hold their breath. This surgery's going to last hours. They can't just it's like 30 seconds breath. Oh, sorry, doctor, I couldn't. Beep. Just a flat line.
Oh,
So they're put on a heart-lung bypass just to keep the blood flowing and so that they don't die. And what is great about both of these types of therapy is that there's no rejection that might happen in the body. So sometimes if
No
you get
regurgitation.
No rejection, George, you fucking idiot. Listen.
Sorry.
Do you
So
have
for
ears? You moron. You utter buffoon.
Anyway, so what's great about both of these types of therapy is that there's no chance of rejection from the body. So sometimes when you have an organ transplant, you have to be put on immunosuppressant because your immune system will reject the organ because it doesn't have the same proteins on its
But why?
cell
what,
membranes.
what happens when you What happens when your body rejects an organ? Like, do you just go into like shock?
Yeah, it's
Well-
quite traumatic, isn't it?
You have like white blood cells that circulate your body, and the most that I know about this is that they detect what's called non-self antigens. So these white blood cells will circulate your body, and then they'll detect proteins on your cell surface membranes, which either tell them whether it's a self cell or whether it's like a non-self cell.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
So like this could be like a bacteria, or in this case it's the organ, so the cells on the organ, because the organ hasn't actually come from that person, and because proteins can be highly specific, they're not going to be the same proteins. They'll pick them up and then they'll just try to destroy them.
Oh,
The
Oh,
cells
so
of the
like
organ,
the
that is.
organ basically gets destroyed.
How does that manifest
Yeah.
in terms of symptoms? Is it like a serious immune response? Do you go like what happens to you? How do you know when you've gone into rejection? For
Who
example?
die?
No, you
You
don't
probably
die because
get
there are people
very
who have
ill.
obviously people who've had kidney transplants. I think one of the actresses in Modern Family has had a kidney transplant and then went into rejection and then has another kidney. Ooh, fact about kidneys, by the way. While I'm thinking about it, you know they don't actually remove the faulty kidney; they just leave it in.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a guy running
Oh,
around with
so
like 5
saggy. Do you, like,
kidneys.
poo it out?
No. There's a guy running around with like 5 kidneys in his belly.
Can I have them?
I need them.
Don't ask questions. I just need them.
So if you had 2 perfectly fine working kidneys, but you decided if somehow you're allowed, you wanted to give yourself loads of extra kidneys, and your body happened to not reject any of them, what
Brandon,
would...
the
Why?
scenario got more and more tenuous as it went on.
So if your body didn't reject you having 12 kidneys,
12.
would you just be like Superman?
No, you
No,
just
because they don't work.
be the same.
Only one
There would
can
be
work.
non-functioning kidneys, Brandon.
Going back to
Oh.
Jack's question, it depends upon the organ that they're rejecting. Obviously, if you've got a kidney transplant, you go into
Brain
kidney failure.
transplant.
If you have like,
fair
I
enough.
don't know,
Oh,
like
you
a
turn
liver
yellow,
transplant.
don't you, when you have
You
kidney
go into-
failure? Your skin goes yellow.
Yes, and I believe it's
Wow.
also the whites of your eyes.
Is it? That's called
Anyway.
jaundice, isn't it? When you go yellow.
Yes. The mechanical valves, they last a lifetime. They'll only be needed to place in once. However, they don't grow, so they need to be basically shaped to the size of the person's heart, and then they'll be put in. So this means that usually they're not given to children, because obviously children are growing all the way through their childhood, because that's pretty much what children do.
No.
and,
That's all
and they
they
go
do.
to adults.
Look, you've said a lot of
That's all I
crazy
do.
things in this segment over the last 10 weeks, but
I know. They're pretty radical.
I'm starting to think that you might just be making stuff up at this point.
Wait a minute. So can the body grow around the transplant?
I don't think so.
So basically, once you have this artificial valve placed in, it's very rare that something bad will happen.
Oh, Brandon,
Well-
are you talking about can your own body tissue grow around?
Yeah, because you know
Artificial
how
things. Well, that's how a stent works, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if I remember correctly, but this woman claimed she got abducted by aliens, and she had a probe put up her nose, and when she had a head X-ray, they discovered that she had a build-up of cartilage on the inside of her nostril where it looked like something had been placed there, and it had eventually come out, but the cartilage had built up around it. So that's the reason why I was saying.
Is that true, or is that an urban legend?
I believe it's true.
That is the bollocks.
I'll Google it whilst you're
Is
talking.
Brandon throwing bollocks around?
Anyway, so these tissue valves, they unfortunately only last about 10 to 20 years because they're not actually properly connected in the sense that being connected.
That's some good shelf life,
and
though.
being
10 to
living.
20 years, between operations. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but it's pretty risky open heart surgery each time. And
Oh, God.
and even if they get them as children, they need to be replaced because children are growing and these tissues aren't properly attached to the
that
body, so they won't
sucks.
just grow with them. Yeah, and so this brings some pretty hefty risks like blood clots, and this is especially in the mechanical valves, unfortunately, because they are a lifetime thing, but they have a much higher risk of blood clots than the tissue ones, and so people have to be on heart thinners because if they're not and a blood clot forms, they might have a heart attack and/or a stroke.
Oh, that's terrible.
So the reason as to why I'm actually talking about this is
It's because
I
you're a
read an article-
sadist.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. You guys are screwed.
Yeah.
No. I read an article earlier this week, and it was talking about these valves that these scientists have made, and they implanted into young lambs, and they actually saw that these valves were actually capable of growing with the organism. And not
Whoa.
only that, they showed reduced calcification. So this is like a natural process that occurs, and it's when mineral deposits build up in like blood vessels and stuff.
It
and this is
also
all natural
happens
and
in
it
geology.
happens in valves. And it actually shows that these valves can grow with the organism, which is amazing because if this is compatible with humans, this means that if children need valve replacements, they only need to get them once until they're much older. And also, they found that these valves could actually be stored for about 6 months. So this means that they can have quote-unquote off-the-shelf treatment. So if a child comes in with faulty valves, for example, they don't have to send off for these specific mechanical valves or these tissue samples. They can just take them out of this fridge, shove them in.
Wow. That's really
Yeah.
good news. Well, thank you.
That is.
Thank you for adding a positive twist, because I was quite depressed after you were like, "Oh, by the way, if you get a mechanical heart transplant, you're fine for 10 years or 15 or 20, and then after that, it's like your probability of living gets smaller each time."
Wait, so
I was
if
like,
they
"Oh,
have
good."
if they have like
Yeah,
a
there's
shelf life, do they just like go bad after like that period of time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Best
that's
before.
So like if you put it in after it, would you like just get an infection? And, like,
They
die?
start to smell and rot.
got
Oh,
mould
that's
on 'em.
awkward.
The person, not the valve.
Like, the doctor pulls out and like sniffs it, like it smells fine, it'll be fine.
yeah. My family does that all the time. There's stuff that like, "Oh no, it's best before, not used by. It's fine." I'm like, it's literally talking to me. It's got a beard. I don't want that.
Yeah, they're trying to like shove this tomato down you, but like, why is the tomato green
Yeah. It's
and
yeah.
furry?
Yeah.
It's got limbs.
So this young lamb that was given these valves actually made it into adulthood with the same valves that they placed in when it was a little baby, which is pretty cool. And
That is
a really
pretty
positive
cool.
Note.
I like that.
And I just thought this was a really positive thing.
I do.
That
I
is
like
positive.
that. That's really nice. Well, thank you very much, Luke, for that. I like that. That didn't feel incongruous with the rest of the episode. I'm quite happy you shared that with us. I feel better now, knowing that there
It
is
was a
hope.
good positive,
'Cause I think it's been
good positive science corner.
That was lovely. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for some trivia to end the show and the season in our weekly segment entitled Factoids, where I read out 3 facts. Usually 2 are true, while 1 is a load of bollocks. This week, only a single nugget of truth lurks within a forest of bollocks.
Oh no.
It is your job to
More than
identify the bollocks.
More than 2.
2
Can't
bollocks.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah. So, if you're all ready, factoid number 1. Goldfish can drive cars.
Bollocks.
Lol.
anyone can.
Well, I think we already know that. The bollock.
Number 2. Darth Vader originally had a Scottish accent.
Oh, that is true. I think
That
that's
would
true.
be amazing.
And number 3. The medieval cure for a headache was to rub an owl on your head.
I think the Darth Vader's one.
Yeah, I
is
think the
true.
Darth Vader one is true.
because yeah.
Okay, but Darth Vader one's fake
The Darth Vader one is fake. What makes you say that?
because I know the original actor was supposed to do it. David Prowse. He had a country accent, which is English, not a Scottish one.
Oh, bollock!
Dear God. The bollock
I
before
was
our
convinced.
If that is not the nugget of truth, where is it? Goldfish can drive cars, or the medieval cure for a headache was to rub an owl on your head?
I'd say the goldfish one's, but it could be bait because Jack's
Yeah,
bait,
it's bait.
master bait.
I think the owl is the truth.
You're
me
right,
too.
Joe. I am the master baiter. So, are you in agreement then? Goldfish can drive cars?
No.
Oh, no.
Owl.
The owl.
The owl
The owl
is the
one.
true one.
I'm
Yeah,
sticking by Darth Vader.
Brandon's sticking by Darth Vader. George and Luke are saying the medieval cure for a headache was to rub an owl on your head. What about Joe?
I'd say that the goldfish one is fake. No, the goldfish one's fake, and the owl one is true.
Good.
Okay.
Yes.
3 on the owl, 1 on Darth Vader. I can tell you, the first bollock is that Darth Vader originally had a Scottish accent.
Crap.
Yes, Joe. Yes.
The second bollock is the medieval cure for a headache.
No.
Goldfish can
Nobody
drive
cares.
cars.
Goldfish
Nobody
cannot
cares.
drive cars.
Jack,
Let me reveal.
you truly are the
truth.
masturbator.
I have just masturbated all of you.
Don't say that.
I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to be like,
no.
Mum, I just masturbated 4 guys.
I've already said that a couple
you
times to
proud
my
of me.
mum.
Well, a company called Studio Dip has created a mobile aquarium that can be driven by a fish. The 4-wheeled device has a digital camera mounted above that can recognise which part of the tank the animal is in and the direction it's swimming, and then drives in that direction by processing the data with a tiny computer called a beagle board and steered by a type of microcontroller. It's unclear if the fish realises whether or not the tank is actually moving in the direction it is swimming, but according to the company, the driving aquarium is temporary, and after taking a motorised stroll, the fish can be placed back into its usual tank. 4 wheels, it moves, it drives, that's a car. There you are.
No, it doesn't because they don't know they're driving.
trust
They're not
it.
driving. They're simply moving in a direction.
That's
or
true,
wheel.
I've seen it on QI.
They are a
So
passenger.
what happens if the goldfish decides to go on a killing spree and
Yeah.
mounts the
Started
pavement?
running people over.
I don't- it's this
doubt
is
this
small.
little tank.
It's a small device that it can run across a tabletop, not like the M4.
Oh, I thought you meant like this goldfish was like plummeting down like the A143, like
No.
on its way to kill some people.
No. Also, goldfish aren't known as the most homicidal of creatures. Goldfish can drive cars, you're right. I baited you with a very obvious fake, and it wasn't a fake, it's the truth. Goldfish can theoretically drive a type of car.
You're a liar, and we can't
Master
trust.
of all baits.
Darth Vader having a Scottish accent. Joe, you came in there with your fucking great
Too
knowledge.
much.
You're right. David Prowse, the late David Prowse, he died this year, or maybe late last year. He originally had a Southwest England Cornish accent. And the reason why I bring this up, so obviously the goldfish in the car is in a reference to fish in the car, everyone's favourite Cloud 5 episode. But this one is related because I stumbled across this fact while I was looking up about pirates, which came from the same episode, and the so-called pirate accent, "Arr me hearties," that it was actually invented by one guy called Robert Newton, who played Long John Silver in the 1950 adaptation of Treasure Island, and that gave us many popular pirate phrases. His accent was a very exaggerated version of his own Southwest England / Cornish accent, and he actually created the whole "arr" as a pirate thing. He also used phrases he picked up from sailing communities back home. And the physical actor for Darth Vader, the late David Prowse, had a Cornish accent. And they were going to use that until he was replaced by James Earl Jones as a voice actor.
I really like Cornish pasta. Imagine
I'm so glad
Star
James Earl
Wars, but he's like, take 'em away, boys.
But he sounds like Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so. Oh, I'm sorry.
I find your lack of faith disturbing, Jack Sparrow.
Emperor Palpatine's like, do it, and he's like, Arr!
Arr me hearties.
High pitch.
Luke, I be a father.
And the medieval cure for a headache was to rub an owl on your head. This was a cure at the time, but what was rubbing an owl on? You would rub an owl on a part of your body to cure what?
Is it syphilis and your genitals?
Cock.
No, it wasn't for an
Um,
STI.
To
It
cure
was for
thrush.
gout.
Oh, I've had that before.
This is an excerpt from an actual medieval book of medicine. Take an owl and pluck it clean and open it, clean and salt it. Put it in a new pot and cover it with a stone and put it in an oven and let it stand till it be burnt. And then my notes say in brackets pound. And then pound it with boar's grease and anoint the gout therewith. So you get an owl, kill it, flay it, rip it open, clean all the inside, put some salt in it, pop it in a pot, cook it till it's horribly burnt, and then slam it in boar's grease, which I don't know what that is, and I don't really want to, and then rub it on your gout, and you'll be fine.
So it sounds easy enough.
It sounds easy enough. It's a quick and easy process. Cures for headaches throughout history, while not involving owls. Medieval treatments of the headache included drug-soaked poultices applied to the head and opium and vinegar solutions. So that sounds fun. Do a bit of opium. The vinegar in the solution was probably used to open the pores of the scalp, allowing the opium to be absorbed quickly through the skin.
You could also drill holes
that is
so you
funky
could absorb
fresh.
the demons, get the demons out of your system.
Joe, that's exactly right. They've been doing that since as early as 7000 BC. Signs of ancient neurosurgery have been evident since then. The Neolithic skulls show that trepanation, which is what you're referring to, the removal of a segment of bone from the skull, or drilling in, was widely performed. It may have been performed to release demons and evil spirits from the head. An ancient man believed that these spirits were the cause of the headaches and disorders such as madness and epilepsy. Trepanning was still recommended by some 17th century physicians for the treatment of migraine. In 1660, William Harvey recommended trepanation to a patient with an intractable migraine. Thousands and thousands of years people have been drilling holes in people's skulls for medical purposes.
Have you heard about
Clearly
the
works.
story of the man who was working on a railway or something, and he ended up getting impaled by a large metal bar?
Phineas Gage.
They pulled him out, and he had this huge hole in his chest or stomach. Yeah, is this and basically they're able to see the workings of his stomach.
I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I think you may have got that
Maybe we're thinking
confused with
different
us
things.
with another guy. There's a guy called Phineas Gage who was involved in a similar accident. It was a large pole. He was working on the railway, and there was a big explosion, and the pole got driven through his face, up through the top of his head, and he lived. And not only did he live, he actually lived without major health complications. However, what they noticed was that after the accident, his personality had changed, and so that was the kind of origin of the scientific theory that different parts of your brain control different aspects of your personality.
So if we took a gamble and just removed one part of Joe's brain, what do you think would happen?
You can live without about half of your brain.
Yeah, but do you think he'd change?
You probably would change a little bit, yeah, if half of your brain was removed.
Imagine if he started speaking in a Russian accent.
You probably start drooling a lot more often. Oh my god, what like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 3 when they flick the switch and he suddenly goes Spanish.
Oh, I'd love to just randomly turn Spanish.
That's what happens to you. And last week as well, we talked about Egyptians. The Egyptians had a funky way of curing headaches as well, just before we close off. They would firmly bind a clay crocodile holding grain in its mouth to the head of the patient using a strip of linen. The linen bore the names of the gods whom the Egyptians believed could cure their ailments. In actual fact, the process may have actually relieved the headache by compressing the scalp and possibly collapsing distended vessels that were causing the pain. So there you have it.
No pain, no gain, baby.
Right for the wrong reasons.
Wow.
Idiots.
I was going to say, ancient healthcare was so crap.
It's so hilarious though. We could do an entire episode on. We should. I think next season we should theme episodes.
Yeah, I think come back after these holidays, chat about it, see if we want to do second season. I'm up for it. And I think themed episodes would be fun. That gives me an opportunity to find themed Florida men.
Brilliant.
Or maybe if we do an episode in a different country, maybe I'll just find news articles like
Albanian man.
Czechoslovakian man.
Yugoslavian man.
Slowly make our way through every single country.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That does it, guys, for this week's episode of Cloud 5. We hope you've enjoyed our nonsensical ramblings and perhaps even learned something fun over the last 10 weeks. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 10 weeks.
It is
11 technically because we missed last
Yeah.
week.
We did.
And also we had the 2 weeks of testing.
Yes, that's true. So actually we've been doing this for a long time. And it doesn't really feel like it, to be honest. It doesn't feel
No,
like 10 weeks.
I've been enjoying it. It's
let
been
alone
like the
12.
light at the end of the tunnel for each week for me.
Yeah, it's really nice, and I hope that you guys at home have enjoyed as well. If you have any questions, facts, corrections, or silliness to send our way, you can contact us the usual routes: cloud5cast@gmail.com, comment on the YouTube channel, or you can tweet us at cloud5cast using the hashtag cloud5. Please get in touch. Let us know what you thought of the first season, and give us suggestions for season 2. What would you like to see? We can shake things up. We can add new segments, strip away old ones.
Guest appearances.
Guest appearances, exactly. We've got some people who've requested to appear on the show, and
Have we managed to persuade Alban yet?
No, we haven't we haven't been able to get through his agent yet.
We'll get there eventually.
There isn't much more to say other than a heartfelt thank you to those listeners who are here, not just at the end of this episode, but possibly at the end of the entire season if you've listened to all of that. And
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're
Thank
we're
you.
profoundly grateful. So thank you very much for that. And without further ado, we will see you if there's a season 2. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
It has come to my attention that I am being used as a method of luring in more and more viewers for this sick podcast. Well, I want you to all know that I hate this podcast. I hate it so much, and I hate you, and I hate you, and I hate you. So go away and leave me in peace to hate you privately and alone. I hate you. Go. And you know what? I hope that one day, when you're typing, you find that your caps lock is stuck on and you can't even get it off. That is how much I hate you.